huge lots of them. Because people still use them somewhat, but not much. It's mostly for, like I said, informal letters, like you're writing a friend, or, you know, you're old. That's basically what it comes down to. So, the amusing thing about that is, you know, I bought a lot of, like, 20 of them. They're all well and truly over 100 years old. Or I bought a lot of 10 of them, and they cost about $2 a pop.
Mm-hmm.
So, after playing around with them and discovering I really like them, because I used to play around with my martial arts teacher's name seal quite a lot whenever I was left in the office with nothing else to do, I decided to order some more, and I realized I can, you know, totally try and figure out how to read Japanese, which, you know, is going to be fun. Well, here's the funny thing.
Oh, that wasn't the funny thing?
No, because I later found out, you know, because I thought, how hard can it be to to find a guide to translate name kanji? There's bound to be a specific guide just for that. And I found there is. And I also found out it is written by one of Angel's relatives.
That's weird.
There's actually quite a large number of her family who were in Asia. And apparently one of her family members may have written essentially every book that the U.S. used for information on Japan and China during World War II.
Uh-huh.
And I was very startled by this information, which led to a night of me researching.
That's weird.
Yes, it was, but it also explains why so many of her family members seem to marry Asian women eventually.
Oh.
Apparently it's, you know, slightly genetic. But it's fine and all, but it was just kind of funny, because I'm like, so it's not just your Uncle Cecil. It's not just, you know, you go staring at the cute Asian boys. It's, you know, it's a genetic thing. I will mock you now. But, it was just, but yeah, I mean, it's actually, the only difficult part, honestly, of translating all those names is the fact that purposefully they use a stylized writing that actually makes it hard, even for other Japanese people, to read it and know what the hell it says.
Uh-huh.
But since I found a book that is literally just how to read these, and, you know, formal Japanese names, it's like, oh, well, I might as well give it a shot, and if I can translate 4 of them total, I can probably sell them for as much as the entire lot cost me.
Uh-huh.
It was like, well, it's worth a shot. It might be free money.
I guess I didn't cut this floor right.
But, it was just kind of shocking to discover how many extremely important military people there were in her family she didn't even fucking know about.
Okay, what went wrong here?
Is it something I did? Because that might be it.
I'm gonna say yes.
Fair enough.
I have no idea, but I'm gonna say yes.
That seems reasonable to me. I know me.
Yes.
I'm currently dealing with the...
Ah, that's why.
I'm sure it might be different down where you are, but the package has currently arrived in New York, and actually going to check to see if it's still there. The package has currently arrived in New York, and what that generally means is it's going to be there for a week now.
Not necessarily. Everything goes into New York.
Fair enough.
That's just like the port of entry. Okay, I see what I did wrong.
Just checking. Yeah. Because at least when it goes here, I guess, since it's so close, they won't ship shit unless They have, like, a whole cargo container full of it that they can ship.
Well, that's usually how it works in general anyway.
Yeah. But,
If you've ever gotten something from overseas and you see the tracking says its origin post is preparing shipment,
yeah, it usually
that's
means...
what it means.
It means it is sitting waiting to be shrink-wrapped onto a pallet with 1,000 other things.
Well, more to the point, it's waiting for those 1,000 other things to hit the pallet with it.
Yeah.
Or the cargo container or whatever.
Yeah. But I have to say, I appreciate Japanese shipping and how anal retentive it is. Because, like, it went from origin post is preparing shipment to process through sort facility, Osaka International Airport, Terminal 5, Bag 2. It's like, well, that is specific. Thank you. I know exactly where it is. It does not help me, but I appreciate this knowledge.
Yes.
Because it lets me know if shit disappears, I can go and call up and, go, hey man, I need you to go to Terminal 5, Bag 2. And I need you to see if you can find a package that feels like it is full of wooden hot dogs.
Now I want to buy some wooden hot dogs.
I would too, and I would hide them in regular hot dogs and feed them to people I don't like. Or leave them there for other people to feed themselves.
What you're saying is you want to hide your wooden sausage.
Yes. In random people.
Yes. That's very unsafe behavior.
Yes, I know. At least wear mustard. Now. Did I bring more signs? I did not bring more signs. Thankfully, you gave me a lot of wood.
Heh.
The
fanfics rate themselves.
Just that one, and for the love of God, I'm glad I never found it. I'm also glad Angel never found it, because she straight up said she would follow me around quoting it. I'm like, well, I would hate to have to break up with you, but... Well, it's like she said, it wouldn't have bothered her if it was, you and I, because you would have found that hilarious. It would have been if it was me and Rob.
Well, that would just be creepy.
Yes, that would be terrifying, but that's
Yeah.
the internet.
Well, yeah.
Of course, I still have a friend who... At the same time, I cannot say anything about, too much porn being creepy. Because I have... Or about creepy porn in general, because I do have a friend who purposefully wanted to show people he was a bad person. So he actually got himself permabanned from fanfiction.net. It is actually very hard to do that.
What'd he do?
Oh, he wrote a whole mess of extremely explicit Cardcaptor Sakura porn.
I see.
Not, like he said, it's not his kink. He just wanted to prove to people that he was a bad enough person that he could get himself banned if he desired.
But is he a bad enough person to save the president?
Yes, he is a bad enough dude. But, that was... I was like, alright, you win. I've called myself a bad person over many times, but that is definitely one that I cannot compete with. It's like, yeah, everyone says that, but I'm pretty sure everyone is a horrible person inside. Like, well, we are, but most of us don't do that. I'm gonna tear down this ladder as I go. There we go.
That's a good way to fall down.
Well, I'm tearing it up from, as I climb down, not as I climb up. Just checking something. Alright. Just double checking a few things. I made a little sketch about what I wanted to try and do now. I'm looking at it going, was I drunk or asleep? Mostly asleep, but You never know until you, drink. I don't know. My brain. But hey, I'm actually getting substantial building done, so that's nice.
I'm getting substantial doing the same thing over and over done.
Yeah, but that's a required part.
Yes.
Of any Minecraft construction project.
Well, within reason, yes.
Well, I mean, you're placing blocks over and over and over and over.
Yes, but it's not always doing exactly the same, like,
That's true. It's not
pattern and sequence.
Yeah. Over and over, over and over, I'll be a fool for you. Ah. It's funny, I have a friend who, I guess, fancies himself a bit of a history buff. Not like my friend Kevin, who actually does know quite a lot about history, and, you know, is well-informed because it's one of those subjects he enjoys learning about, therefore he knows not more about it than, you know, someone who just took a class.
Right.
You know, he's a history nerd. But, I was arguing with... It was one of those arguments about, you know, basically talking about the 1940s because I was working on the radio, and he's like, ah, well, blah, 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 and, you know, a time before all of the tropes in modern entertainment. I was like, no. God, no, man. God, no. They were using tropes from vaudeville and, you know, Broadway at that time. It's like, what? I'm like, yeah. I mean, like, the trope of the adorable but slightly annoying neighbor child. It's like, oh, yeah, well, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, no, no, no. You can find that in fucking old-ass episodes of Fibber McGee and Molly. What's that? A radio show? You can find... Fibber McGee and Molly is hilarious. I told him, you know, you should check it out. You will not be interested in it at all because it's not a visual media, but... I don't know, I like audio media, so it works for me. Mm-hmm. Like, I kind of wish that they translated more Japanese audio plays into English, because I would totally be down for listening to, yes, I'll read the words. Well, I'll read the air. I'll read the air with my ears, it'll be fine. Some weird-ass synesthesia shit going on there, but... it was, you know, like, I was just sitting there going over a list of all the annoying Hollywood, or, you know, old-ass Hollywood tropes. It's like, they're that old? I'm like, they sure are. Well, they're more of a classic and a tradition than they are a trope at this point. I mean, a trope really is just a tradition, but it's considered to be an overused thing. Now, it's an effing tradition. You can't really be Hollywood in... Why did I break that block? I need to put more down. Like, if you don't do it, people actually notice that it's not there and get more upset. Good old Hollywood. The funny thing is, I started re-listening to radio shows again recently. Because my uncle, who is, you know, a very nice, very intelligent, distinguished older black man, was talking to me about, you know... some of the more racist radio shows like Amos and Andy, which, yeah, was horribly racist. But he was like, yeah, everyone I knew listened to that. Always. I'm like, well, didn't they find it, you know, offensive? Like, oh yeah, it was definitely offensive, but, the black guys were smarter than everyone else on the show. Always. Without fail. Everyone on the show was retarded. Like, really? Like, yeah. Like, I listened to it, and I was like, goddamn, they're right. All the white people on this show are dumbasses. I was like, I guess, you know, I just never watched it or listened to it, and... I'm like, okay, well... But mostly I liked all the old horror shows, like Suspense and Inner Sanctum. Because they're so ridiculously over the top that it's actually kind of hilarious. Just, how did people ever find these horrifying? And then you realize, well, at the time, it's not like there were Blood Explosion, the movie, Part 4. So, like, yeah, I guess you had to let your imagination go completely wild. And then when you actually stop and let your imagination go wild while listening, it's like, yeah, these can be pretty scary. So, I started listening to them, and moreover, the whole big ridiculous rig I just made, which actually fits in an old Philco Model 71B radio case. That's for anyone who wants to Google it so they know what the fuck I'm talking about. Because I didn't know that was what it was called, and I had to Google it. It all fits right into the case. It actually would fit into something about, like, 1/10 of the size, but...
Right.
I could put in a smaller speaker, but, as big as it is, I could easily... And it does plug into a wall, because I hooked it to run off of a computer power supply.
Uh-huh.
It could actually run off of a USB battery pack. So... And it's got a lot of fucking volume, too. That's the funny part. I thought it was going to be really, really quiet, so I put in a little tiny 15-watt headphone amplifier.
Mm-hmm.
And I put in a decent-sized speaker, and every time that thing goes off, I turn it on, if I have not turned the volume down to nothing before I turn it on, it will deafen me.
Huh.
Like, alright, turn it on. Wah! Like, alright, well, I have no ears. Alright, turn on some torches.
Well, my water system works.
Hooray!
Because I just had to let myself out of a sealed chamber
Wow, that's good.
by riding through the system.
I forgot water. I need more water. Don't I have a little water pit? Yes, I do.
So do I.
Yeah. I've got water by the numbers. Heartache by the numbers, trouble by the score. God damn it. I have Fallout music just stuck on endless loop in my brain now.
Hmm.
The day that I stop counting, that's the day a squirrel kills me. There we go. That's working out well. So I'll put down a row of blocks. Doot, 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 doot. Doot, doot, doot. Man, that's working out better. Working easier than I expected.
Something must have gone wrong.
Yeah, I know, right? And these chambers are slightly abnormal size, so I'm guessing it's because I am, half-assing it. Worst part is I sat down and did the math, and I realized that these chambers, enlarging these chambers will not, or adding extra chambers, probably isn't going to affect my spawn rate at all.
Okay, so why are you doing it?
Well, at this point, I'm doing it partially as filler so that you can finish yours so we can see how epic it is.
Ah.
But also, while it won't affect the spawn rate, there's a good chance it might affect how quickly mobs fall out of spawning chambers.
Uh-huh.
So I figure I might as well give it a
Well, that doesn't
shot.
really make a difference with this method because it's about how many things are in the chunk.
Yeah. With your method, stuff is going to end up coming out of it way faster.